Hello and welcome to the video. My name is Ash, this is my channel, and this is my 10 before the end. Honestly, I find that a little optimistic. I'm not sure I'm going to be getting 10 in before the end of the year, especially with all my school assignments. But school does end like the first week of December, so maybe we have hope. I have my stack of books next to me. I have my little lemon water because your girl is dehydrated. I have my dog somewhere in the house. Hopefully he's not doing anything nefarious. But I've arranged these in somewhat of an order, kind of like YA to more adulty stuff, but in no particular order other than that. So it's not like in order of importance or anything, or in order of like November or December. It's just sort of, these are the books that I hope to read. I have not included any of the books that I'm currently in the middle of. I probably should, considering there's so many. But no, I chose only new books because I need to get my TBR down, and books that I'm currently reading aren't on my TBR. So it's a fun little hack that just ends up creating a lot of half-finished books. So, yeah. So let's get started. The first book I have is Vengeance of the Pirate Queen by Tricia Levenseller. I have had this book for a hot minute. Maybe since like, I don't know, it came out in 2023, I think. I've had it, I think, since it came out in, 2023. I've read The Daughter of the Pirate King and Daughter of the Siren Queen, probably also in like 2023, and I don't really remember much of it. I do know this is about her, like the main character of that duology's first mate or second in command, first mate, I guess, if they're on a pirate ship, and her sort of enemies to lovers thing with some other guy. It's really all I know about it. So I've just had this book for such a long time. I've been kind of in the mood for like something lighter, something sort of YA-ish, something with like technically high stakes, but it feels low stakes. So this feels like a good place that I'm maybe gonna start soon, and a book that's been sitting on my TBR for quite some time. So I figured this was as good a start as any. Next up is a book in a series that I started when I was like 14 that I haven't read in years, but I have the next two books in the series. And the plan was to reread the first 4 books on audio before I started the 5th and the 6th. But I'm currently reading Throne of Glass on audio, plus Don't Let the Forest In on audio, so it's gonna take a while for me to get there. So I'm hoping to just look up a couple summaries and then get started on The Conference of the Birds by Ransom Riggs, which is the 5th book in the Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children series. I've read the back of this, and it is sparking absolutely no memories. I'm pretty sure I read the last book maybe when I was still in high school. Yeah, this came out in 2020, so I must have read the last book while I was still in high school, which was like 5 years ago. So, or maybe 6 years ago. No, 5 years ago, because I graduated in 2020. Yeah, so it's been a minute. I've had this book for so long. But I don't know, I've been wanting to revisit it recently. If it doesn't work out and I try to read it even with the summaries and I don't know what's happening, I'll just stop and do my original plan. But I don't know, I've just been kind of in the mood to like revisit this series recently, so I'm hoping it works out. And that is the second book. Third on the list is a book that I have been meaning to read ever since I finished the first one in the series, but I have a problem with series books where if I read all of them at once, I get super bored and stop halfway through. So I had to take a little break, but I think the break has been long enough. So I'm hoping to read Bloodmarked by Tracy Deonn before the end of the year. If I wait too long, I will forget what happened in Legendborn. So I need to read Bloodmarked. I need Oathbound or Oathbound to come out in paperback. I don't know if it has yet. It probably has, because I want the swords to be matching on my bookshelf. I want them to line up. And if Oathbound is a hardcover, they won't line up. Also, look at these edges. But yeah, I need to read Bloodmarked, hopefully before the end of the year, because I will forget what happened in Legendborn. So, next up we have a book that I bought in like mid-2024 that it's kept being like oh, I'll get to that next. And that just hasn't happened. It's another YA, I'm not gonna call it a romance. It's Dear Wendy by Anne Zhao, and I'm not calling it a romance because both our protagonists are Aro-ace, and I think they would object to that classification. But it is a love story between these two girls, but it's not romantic. I want to read it. I've been watching a lot of Heartstopper recently, and I just feel like this is gonna give similar vibes, so. Last in the sort of YA-ish-esque category, we have The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. And again, this is a book that I've had probably since it came out. I love the cover. But I just haven't really been in the mood for like a YA thriller. But I wanted a thriller on this list, and this seemed as good a one as any. I was planning on reading this sometime during spooky season, but that never happened. And since November in my head is still technically spooky season, I'm gonna try and read this in November. Next up, a book in a very popular series with a crazy cliffhanger at the end of book 2. And then for some reason, I just haven't picked up book 3, even though at the end of book 2, I desperately wanted to know what happened, and then I just kind of lost interest. Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. I've heard mixed reviews. I had mixed thoughts about Iron Flame. I didn't think it was great. I loved Fourth Wing though, so I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about Onyx Storm. I've heard people like it better than Iron Flame. I started it, I got maybe like 30 pages in, and I wasn't feeling it. That was a while ago. So I'm hoping to read it again. I want to read it, and if I don't like it, then I just won't continue the series, and if I do like it, I will. I need to finish this book, or I need to at least get halfway through this book to know what I want to do with the rest of the series, if that makes sense. So I need to read Onyx Storm to decide the fate of the Empyrean series as a whole. Next up, a book that has been on a couple of my TBRs, as you've seen, or maybe just one. I bought it not too long ago, and it's not really my genre, but it is, I believe, a Booker Choice Award nominee? Some type of award nominee. It's Flashlight by Susan Choi. I still, like, I've read the blurb so many times, I don't know what genre this book is. So I don't know if I'll like it. But reading it, I think, will make me feel smart. Flashlight. Next is a book that I specifically saved for December because I thought it would be a good book to read like while it's cold and wintry, is Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales by Heather Fawcett. I love this cute little compact hardcover, no dust jacket. I think it's adorable. I love the cover. I love this series, and I was specifically saving this book for December or possibly January, just because I feel like Emily Wilde should be read during the colder months. I have no basis for that, it's just, I feel that's how it should be done. So this is definitely going to get read in December, and if not, January, or else I'll have to wait a whole year, and I don't want to do that. I mean, I could read it in March. I feel like it's also a very Marchy book, but I want to read it in December, so make sure I read it in December. Next up, we have The Ragpicker King by Cassandra Clare. I have technically already started this one. I started it maybe in August or September and was very confused. Apparently it's been too long since I've read Swordcatcher. But I'm hoping that if I get a little bit further in, or maybe look up a synopsis or a video like breakdown of Swordcatcher, I will maybe know what happened a little bit better. Like, I kind of know what happened, like I vaguely remember the ending, but all the political machinations and these side characters, I'm like, I don't know who you are. So I need like a detailed summary of Swordcatcher, I think, before I try The Ragpicker King again. But if I recall correctly, I really wanted to read this after I finished Swordcatcher. And it's just that sort of political high fantasy type thing that I'm like, this feels good for like winter as well. And then last but not least of my 10 before the end, I debated putting this on here, but I really want to get to it. I debated because I bought it very recently and I feel like I should get some of my TBR veterans sort of off my little cart. But I really wanted to read this, so we have The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. It's like a military, political, epic fantasy. It sounds so good. Also, it might be gay. Okay, both the main characters are girls, so I'm assuming it's gay. Look at how floppy this book is. I know I should get like some of the TBR veterans off my list, but I wanted to read this and you're not the boss of me, so The Unbroken. Again, 10 before the end, especially with the books I've chosen, seems a little optimistic, but I'm hoping that I can at least get half of them done. And then that I can also knock out some of the books that I am currently in the middle or mostly finished with. But yeah, I think it should be doable. School ends pretty early this year, so I'm hoping that I'll have like, I mean, obviously I have work, but I'm hoping I'll have a lot of downtime to like get some reading done. And if I have to find some of these books on audio, I will try to. But I think, fingers crossed, I'm hoping my reading slump doesn't come back. I think it should be, I should get at least 6 of these done. And I was talking to my partner and he was like, well, you don't have to read those 10 books you choose, just try to read 10. And I'm like, no, I think I'm gonna try and read the books I choose, just maybe not all 10. I think that's where I'm going with this, is I'm gonna try and read some of these specific books because I'm so bad at planning a TBR and then I keep buying new books and then reading the new, it's a mess, it's terrible. So those are my goals. Yell at me if I'm not sticking to them. All right, we have reached the end of the video. This was a little ramblier and uncoordinated than I wanted it to be, but that is okay because I kind of went into it unplanned. So that's that. Bye.